my peoples. Doing a quick houseplant update from the chores that I did a few weeks ago. Going on 2.5 weeks now. Plants are doing good. Let's quickly talk about what's going on here. So this plant and this plant is the pothos from the Home Depot store. Remember I said I got it for, it was $12. I got it for like $5. So they're doing well. This is the one on the moss pole. And doing pretty well. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. There. It's in the way. You can just see, that's an aerial root that's growing into the moss pole. That's really good. Let's put this back in here. And I might have to raise this up a little bit higher. So this whole level, I think I'm going to raise up to its highest level because the plants are really getting close and touching the lights. But the pothos itself doing really well. If you look really closely, see there? That's the aerial root that's in there and it's winding its way inside. So it's doing well. It's shot up leaves and stuff. Last time we saw it, it was probably down here. So I had to put an extra Velcro band on there. Leaves don't look much bigger than what they were before, but it's still pretty early stages for this. This was the same plant. I just divided up. Doing well as well. I'm probably going to let it stay a little bit longer in the pot before I put this one on a moss pole as well. You can even see aerial root right there. Woohoo! So I think this one will do well as well. This one and that one back there are my cuttings that were on the counter in the kitchen. So they're establishing. It'll be a while before I can do a moss pole on these, although this one has a bit of a vine here, so I could force it onto a moss pole, but we'll see. I honestly don't know. These were the cuttings that I got from our friends next door. So I don't know what variety of pothos it is. This one, I believe, is, I think it's called Pothos Golden, because of the variegation in the colors. The other, what I thought was pothos plant that I got from Home Depot, I was questioning that. This one and that one back there. This is the one plant that I separated into two, and I put it in these small, like 4-inch pots to begin with. I'm going to pot it up into something bigger, but this is not pothos. And I was suspicious of it. I know there's different types of pothos, and they're not identical to their growth pattern and their leaf pattern. But when I looked at this, and I was really questioning it, and when I used the Google camera or Google Glass to search, this is actually a philodendron. Philodendron Brazil, actually. And it was just mislabeled at Home Depot because it said pothos. It was with the rest of the pothos plant. But that was a good buy for $5. Got 2 plants out of it. And these can grow very big as well, and they like to climb. So when I do pot up, I'll probably do a moss pole for these as well. These were the flamingo plants from earlier this year that I split up into 2, and I put them in the throughout the house. They're in the powder room. This is the powder room upstairs and the bathroom downstairs. This one was downstairs. Let me just bring it up here. And as you can see, it didn't do that well, but that's partly because there's not that great of a light situation going on in the basement bathroom. This is on the sink counter. Maybe I need to put it in the window where it'll get more light. I'm not sure. But the leaves aren't doing that well. I also ended up repotting it into one of these plastic pots. I think this is a good idea, these plastic pots, because you can, it's better than putting them in these. Let me move this stuff out of the way, because they were directly potted in these ceramic pots. Probably an amateur move on my part, but these are really just for visual. They're for aesthetics, because it doesn't have enough drainage. And I think that was the problem that this was having. So there's only one hole in the bottom, which empties into its own built-in tray, but that's not enough drainage for the for the plant. And also the potting mix that I'd made before, I don't know if I used too much potting soil. You're only supposed to use a little bit. And I think it was retaining water, because when I emptied these to repot it, even though I was only watering it once every week and a half, it was like mud. So it wasn't really free draining as well as this new mix that I put together. So this drain, oops, see, it's even leaking out now, because I just watered these today. So it wasn't draining as well. There's only one hole in the bottom. So with these, several holes in the bottom, and the mix I think is more free draining. So I'm hoping that it will start sending out new leaves, and it will do better. Hasn't started doing that unless a new leaf is going to pop up from there, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm going to keep them in these see-through pots, and they can just go like that and go back wherever they were. But since I have only recently done these repottings for the flamingo plants, I'll keep them in here under the lights for a little while. This one, oops, don't rip that leaf. There we go. This is the one that was in the powder room upstairs. There's a window in that washroom as well. But it's a bigger window. So as you can see, the leaves, this one was doing really well. Leaves are really nice. The reason that I repotted this one as well, not just because I think the new potting mix that I put together is better. It looked like it had some kind of infestation. I should have recorded it, but it had these little small white crawly things all over the soil. Now the plant itself, like, there's no damage on the leaves. There was nothing on the leaves itself. Look how big these leaves are. Amazing. That one has a little spot there, but that's it. And it was pushing out new leaves, as you can see there and over there. And you have a few stalks here. It was doing well, but I don't know what those creepy crawly things were. So of course I freaked out. So I sprayed down the whole thing. I actually sprayed down both of them with the insecticidal soap. I took it out of the soil that it was in. It was the old orchid mix. And the same thing as this one, it was like mud. So this one was in this pot, but it's the same thing. It's only one hole in the bottom, not as much drainage. This mix that I did is more arid and drains more freely than the other one. So I think it'll do better. So yeah, after spraying it down and everything, taking it out, cleaned up the roots and everything, I repotted it in here. And it's been doing good. Once again, it's just been under the lights here, so we'll see how that goes. But life lesson, these are truly just for aesthetics. Don't pot directly in there, because they don't have enough drainage and it's going to cause issues. So there you go. So I'll put these ones back there. And here, spider plant. Doing really well. I cut most of the tips off, the burnt tips off. This one, remember the baby spider plants that were on the end, the one that fell off? Well, it's pushed out more. So this guy is really happy, and it's sending out another vine. So this guy is really, really happy. Doing really well, partly because of the arid mix, I think. Because remember, these were just outside with these guys. And they were just in regular outside growing mix. So the the tropical mix that I put them in here, I think is doing them really, really well. So they're really happy. This one hasn't put out any vines, but you can see there's a whole bunch of like new growth there and some over there. So doing really well as well. And since like I sprayed them down and cleaned them and everything, I haven't seen any bugs or anything. The Depanelia, yep, not saying that right still. It's been almost 2.5 weeks. I think I've only watered it once or twice. So I was expecting it to go into a dormancy stage. It hasn't done that. And in fact, it's actually pushed out vines. If you look closely, there's an example. It's pushing out new leaves and buds. I missed a bud and that opened, but that's to be expected. It has dropped some leaves, but this guy doesn't seem like it's going into a dormant state. And I don't know for sure what's going on. It's definitely dropped some leaves, as you can see, and there's leaves turning yellow, which is a sign if it's going dormant. But I don't know if it's truly going dormant or just adjusting to its new life. This one's even pushing out new buds and stuff. And once again, I've done nothing. I've only watered this maybe once or twice I think only once in like 2 weeks. So it too has some like yellow leaves that are falling, but this doesn't look like a plant that's going into a dormancy state. So I don't know. I might just keep this in the house in the summer, and then during the winter, and then put it out next summer if it doesn't go completely dormant. So I'm not going to force it or try to kill it. If it's happy, it's happy. There we go. These guys are doing well as well. You can see new leaves coming out on these ones, these San Francisco, and you can see it's pushing out roots like crazy. So this guy's really happy in here. He's doing really well. His partner back here, those three are 3 new leaves that is pushed out. And if you look closely, you can also see a few roots growing. So they're real happy. And finally, these are the seeds and the cuttings. So once again, I didn't do my research properly. The lilac seeds, I don't know if they need to be stratified before planting. And now I kind of feel like I wasted all those seeds. I probably should have checked that. Nothing has popped up at all. So I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. The cuttings for the Depanelia, all these that you see are empty, are ones that kind of died off. So there was no results. It wasn't, what's it called? No roots were forming or anything like that. These ones, I'm just giving a little tug and I feel resistance. So they might have put a little bit of roots. So we'll see what's going to happen with those. I still can take some cuttings from these guys if I want to try again, because I did put rooting hormones on the tips before I put them in the soil. But one thing I didn't do was to scrape off the woody edge of the stems and before exposing it to the rooting hormone, which probably would have done a better job with promoting root growth. But we'll see what happens. This was very much an experiment anyway, so if it does something, it does, and that's awesome. And these are just the baby spider plants. These are the ones that fell off of this guy at the end. So if these guys start to develop root nubs, I probably can root them up the same way. From everything I've seen online, these take a while to root up. So this is just some cocoa coir in here, damp, that's being kept damped because I have it in a seeding tray and the cover on it, so it's always like watering itself. I haven't seen any root growth showing itself at the bottom, but it's been how many weeks and they haven't died, so they must be doing okay in here. So we'll see how that goes. Put that back on there. And that is the updates from the houseplants. I'm trying something else in here. I did plant some lemon seeds, because who doesn't want a little lemon tree in their house? We'll see where that goes. Those will take a couple weeks to germinate, so we'll see what happens with that. But otherwise, doing well. Really have to do a a vegetable garden cleanup coming up. Things are getting overgrown, and I'm still waiting for the weather to be below 10 degrees at night, because at that point you're not really going to get any much more growth in the vegetable garden. But yeah, been kind of neglecting it for the last couple of weeks. I had the flu last week, so that was horrible. I'm still recovering from that. And yeah, need to get some yard work done. Anywho, have a great weekend, guys.